What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's late lounge chat. This is a segment in which I record relatively late. A majority of you may be asleep if I decide to post this relatively late, but for the most part, since I had a lot of issues with uploading today, it's not going to be too late. So what I plan on doing, y'all, is I had a lot of issues with basically uploading the content because of copyright. When I say YouTube is very, very, very strict, they don't want you using content from none of these networks, and I'm not understanding what's the issue as long as, you are just using snippets and you're not using the whole content. But VH1, MTV, a lot of these companies are very, very strict on you using their footage, even if it's old footage. So it really, unfortunately, had a major inconvenience with me being able to share some of the things I want to share with you. So probably what I'm going to have to do is just put in the link versus actually putting in the actual clips to keep the copyright to a minimum. But if you don't mind, please go ahead and hit that like button for me. I would gladly appreciate it. So I wanted to get into this right away, right? If you have not heard already, your boy Ray J, being the attention-starved, narcissistic, Napoleon syndrome man that he is, he just seems to be very troubled. And honestly, I can tell y'all, I never liked Ray J, and I can't stand Ray J. Ray J is the epitome of a certified fuckboy, certified man child, okay? And if any of you have been fans of Brandy for years, many of us by now are already aware of that. Most of Ray J's fame and notoriety basically came off of the coattail of his sister. And Ray J has been fighting with tooth and nails to come from up under her shadow and basically earn his own identity and his own fame off his own name without having to, earn it off of the likes of Brandy. Okay, so we all know Brandy from a lot of her smash hit singles, I Wanna Be Down and, Broken Hearted. Not only that, she's done various shows. She started out on Thea. She's done Moesha. I Know What You Did Last Summer, all type of movies. She even played on The Game. So, she definitely has many receipts to validate her success. And every opportunity Ray J has had, in the initial beginning of his career, again, it was off of the likes of Moesha. Off the likes of Brandy that played as Moesha, right? And you can just pretty much tell that Ray J was always kind of squeezed. They always kind of had to force a part in some of Brandy's opportunities just so he can get some type of shine. I remember in her video, I Wanna Be Down, there's a small segment of him being cameoed in that video. He was really, really young then, so some of y'all may have not picked up on it. But he did have other opportunities. My Three Sons, I think that was a show with Steve Harvey, before Steve Harvey I think he was with Sinbad. Was it Sinbad or Steve Harvey? But one of them. So he's been cameoed in a couple of shows that many of you may not remember because a lot of those shows were short-lived, right? So the biggest opportunity he did get under Brandy's belt was when he starred in Moesha as Brandy's cousin, which Slash ended up being her biological brother, because the storyline of Moesha's father, Frank, having had an affair way back in the day, you know, and keeping it a secret, only for years down the line for the character of Ray J to move in with him and this all be revealed, you know. So that whole storyline practically killed the authenticity of the show. You know, a lot of people was very upset with the way that storyline went. It just took away from the show, because Frank was supposed to be like this upstanding father that has all these standards and all of these morals for his children, only for years down the line, you know, his nephew, who he allowed to move in with his children, ended up being his biological son. So just that part of that show, Moesha, if any of y'all can remember, y'all can tell Ray J's character, which was Dorian, that was forced. You can tell that was a storyline that they forced in Moesha to get him up in there. To me, it was like one of those things of, okay, Brandy basically using her leverage. If I'm going to do Moesha, at some point I'm going to have to get my brother to come in. I want my brother to have a role. I want my brother to have some type of participation within this show. You can just tell the way he came in and the storyline that was made. The producers of that show was, I think they was arm wrestled, if you will, into getting Ray J on that show. If y'all agree with that, let me know. If you don't agree with it, let me know as well. But I really believe that Moesha was fine until they had to create a storyline for Ray J. And the show plummeted once they allowed him to come on as the secret son. Now, I said all of that for a reason, because I'm going to be going somewhere later on within this content, and it's going to come together with how all of this narcissistic ninja behavior of Ray J folds in and combines and incorporates together. So just hold that thought of how Ray J became revealed in the character as a son that was conceived out of a hidden affair that Frank had with the character Dorian's mother. It's going to come in together. Just hold your horses, right? So basically, Brandy has been opening a lot of doors for Ray J, and over time Ray J was able to pretty much, you know, build his own name without just being known as Brandy's brother. So he's came out with a couple of songs that made it on some soundtracks, you know, and I think what really helped his career to blossom was when he did that first song, Wait a Minute, with Lil' Kim, which I'm not going to play on here, and that kind of gave him that hunch, that drive that he needed in order to get his own name. So he came out with a couple of bangers, you get what I'm saying? And most importantly, when he got on the show Love and Hip Hop Miami season, right? So once he got on that show, at this point in time, Ray J became older, and you can tell his ego had pretty much inflated at this point in time, because he's done a couple of cameos and some shows. He put a couple of bangers out there, you know, One Wish being one of his well-known songs that, you know, a lot of people, not myself, but a lot of people have gravitated towards that song. To me, it always sounded like he was straining on the toilet, but for everybody else, they were so crazy about the song One Wish. So Ray J started getting all his notoriety and all this attention. His fame started peaking for him when he got his own reality show. I think, yeah, it was around the time that Flavor Flav came out with his show Flavor of Love. If y'all remember, a lot of celebrities pretty much started copycatting Flavor Flav and doing spin-off of their own dating shows. So Ray J came out with his own reality show, For the Love of Ray J, in which he had several women competing against each other for his affection. He's been, like I said, he also had a show with his family. Y'all probably don't remember. Brandy and Ray J, A Family Business, in which they had a family show, kind of like Judge Greg Mathis had with his family. It was a family show basically surrounding Brandy, Ray J, and their parents. You know, how they conduct business together as a family, how they bond with each other. And I just remember watching the show a couple of times, and I just remember seeing how irritated Brandy was that Ray J would get away with a lot. He's definitely a mama's boy, and Brandy's mother definitely played a significant part in that. You know, she definitely worships the ground that Ray J walks on, and nothing is worse than a man child who has a mommy who enables his behavior and thinks that everything he does is cute. And I remember there was a couple of times on the show Ray J was doing childish things that really would annoy Brandy, and he was, you know, like doing it in a disrespectful manner. And I remember his mother was laughing about it, and she thought it was cute, and I can tell the frustration in Brandy's face. And you have some parents that are like that. Some of these mommy's boys, they will give their sons multiple passes, but when it comes to their daughters, it's like, you know, there's no pass. You got to always be on point. You can't rebuttal them, you know. And I think Brandy and her mom, for the most part, are close, but I think they really had a rocky relationship due to the fact that her mother, Sonia Norwood, was always, you know, enabling him in a sense, you know. So, with all of that being said, you know, her name's Sonja, Sonja, Sonja. Yeah, so Brandy being his multi-platinum recording artist, it opened a lot of doors for Ray J. Again, he was on the Sinbad show, Moesha, you know, all of these opportunities. But when he got on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, that's when he really pretty much started showing his behind. And we've seen him, you know, be the poster child of being very trifling when it comes to how he deals with women. We remember the X tape that he had out with Kim Kardashian. Ray J just started doing a lot of wild, outlandish things, I guess, to get from up under that shadow of Brandy, anything to try to get that attention. So when he joins the show, of course, he started having some type of dealings with Princess. Now keep in mind, Princess is the daughter of Darryl Strawberry, an infamous baseball player. So she's not one of them young women that didn't come from nothing, and she was never like needy of him like that. So she definitely had her own, you know, notoriety, and for whatever reason, she took a very strong liking to Ray J. And anybody who's been, you know, fans of Love and Hip Hop, we've seen Ray J disrespect Princess numerous times, multiple times, over and over. There was the scene which I kept getting flagged on that I had, you know, in the clip of the content, in which Princess and Ray J had met with each other on the set, and he basically called himself confronting Princess for talking about issues within their relationship to his assistant at the time, Monica. So Ray J felt some type of way that she shared her problems with him, with his assistant, and his assistant went back and told his ex-girlfriend Tiara. And that caused a lot of, you know, conflict, because he felt like Princess had no business getting involved, telling his assistant things that go on with them, which I kind of agree, I understand that. However, the conversation gets heated because he starts to gaslight Princess by telling her, you know, my ex-girlfriend was right about you, you know. And anytime you say words like that, that's automatically fighting words to compare the woman you're supposed to be dating currently with a woman he claims he no longer deals with in the past. So that pretty much started the torch, that torched the flame, and Princess began sitting to the table while they're sitting at the table, and he's basically talking to her like she's a child, belittling her, you know, basically just, you know, being a narcissist that is, gaslighting her, making her feel like garbage, as if he's been such a wonderful boyfriend and he didn't do anything wrong to cause her to feel like she had to talk to somebody else about the things that she was going through with him. So the situation gets really intense, and she starts throwing. She grabs a glass of wine and she throws it in his face, and he sits there. He deals with it. Then, after seeing she didn't get a rise out of him, that's when she threw food at him, and that's when he got up, and basically security is there and all of that. And while he's trying to walk away, which I will say he was trying to walk away and diffuse it, this just infuriated Princess even more. So Princess tries to shove him and push him, and what he did, instead of going on about his way and dealing with it like a man, not allowing it to make him become petty like a woman and be on her level, he pushes her back to the point she falls into the pool with all of her clothes on. So you can tell at this point she's very embarrassed. He didn't even look back to see if she was all right, to make sure she didn't drown. I think at that point that was basically his ego, and he wanted to humiliate her, but at the same time she did provoke him by throwing that drink on him, so whatever. But the security was the one who went after her and got her out of the pool to check on her well-being. So that incident alone, and other people have brought that up, that should have been a red flag to Princess, that she never ever should have got herself involved with him when she saw that Ray J has man-child feminine emotions. Because you have some men that carry their emotions like women, and those are the worst type of men to deal with. You know, you expect men to have some type of restraint and some type of discipline to not allow a female to get them to the point to where they're acting and behaving like one. And that is what Ray J did on that set. So a lot of people, including myself, was surprised that she even gave Ray J the time of day when he shoved her in that pool. That shows you how feminine his energy is when it comes to, you know, trying to, you know, retaliate towards a female. He gets on the same level as a woman. Okay, but nevertheless, Ray J, like many of these Napoleon syndrome dudes, and the reason I call him I bring up the Napoleon syndrome, most guys that are short, they're not very confident with their height. So what they tend to do is they compensate for their lack thereof by being egotistical, by being the agent of chaos, like Mel would say, by just doing the most, being hyper masculine, being overly animated. That is their way of trying to prove their masculinity, because again, it's that short dude complex of feeling inferior, feeling like you can't really measure up. So in order to make up for that lack of height, you think you have to be a bigger dickhead. You get what I'm saying? And we've seen Ray J turn up, act out in multiple ways in which it's darn near been embarrassing. And in fact, it's been so embarrassing to the point his own sister, his family's not really dealing with him. And he mentioned this the last time he went on his little Instagram tirades, like Kanye West sometimes have to go on his tirades, his ninja tirades. Ray J has gone on many ninja tirades within this year. He's going on Instagram claiming to wanting to unalive himself multiple times. Then I can't even name on our fingers how many times him and Princess have divorced and got back together. Got back together and divorced. The first time, Princess was the one who filed for divorce. He came back, you know, doing all that Keith Sweat, baby, I'm begging, you know, Jodeci, baby, I'm begging, baby, I'm begging, baby, I'm begging, begging, baby. You know, he did all of that. And see, at the time, they had their daughter. So, like most women, they feel because they have children from a narcissistic ninja, they got to make it work, for better or for worse. But when you're dealing with the narcissistic ninja, having children from him, it's not going to change his character and not going to change who he is. But Princess, once again, went against her better judgment, and she had decided to not go through with the divorce. Then, to ask insult the injury, he turns around and he files a divorce the very next day. So see, this shows you how petty he is. He only got back with her just so he could turn around and file the divorce first before her. Okay, so this is the kind of man-child Princess made a husband. Princess made a father of two. Okay, we've seen Ray J embarrass himself multiple times. We've seen him do verses, and he has no talent. He cannot sing, and verses totally ratted him out. When he did that verses performance, it really shows you that auto-tune is a blessing for a lot of these artists who be in the studio, because he is not naturally gifted with a singing voice. He is not. So I strongly believe Ray J's talent is talentless, and he's only gotten through the door based off of who his sister is, and based off the fact that his family has been pushing and pushing and pushing for him to be just as successful as his older sister. So, you know, when it comes to the music industry, in many instances, when one sibling or one child is famous, the parents will usually try to push the other siblings to be just as famous, like the Jackson 5. Michael Jackson, you know, he was the one who molded the path for Jermaine and Tito and Randy and the rest of them. No different than Toni Braxton. It was her who had to pave the way for Tawanda and Tamar, and that's just the way it is. There's going to always be that one sibling that's going to stand out, and it puts a lot of pressure on the other siblings that never have really been able to really measure up to that, right? So, getting to the point, I just had to give y'all some history about Ray J. We've seen him act like a clown multiple times. We've seen him turn up. We've seen him do a lot of embarrassing things, you know, to basically try to prove his masculinity, to prove that he's worthy, and to prove that, you know, he's not just Brandy's brother. But we've seen him embarrass himself multiple times, like in this instance, right, when he had this situation here. Let me see, I'm going to share this with y'all. I'm going to switch my account. Go to the account that don't have no commercials, because I can't stand all them freaking commercials. So, this just goes to show you how much Ray J loves to be seen. He gets a thrill out of seeking attention. Now, I'm not going to hit the clip here, but basically, if y'all go to Ray J pushes Princess in the pool, y'all will see how he pushes her in the pool over just a disagreement. It just didn't really warrant for it to get that far out of hand. But this is what happens when you want a man more than he wants you. So, getting to this part here, this happened a couple of months ago, just to give y'all an idea of Ray J's character. How he got into a physical altercation at the BET Awards. So I'm going to play it without the sound. And as you can see, Ray J loves to be on camera, loves to let everybody know what he's going to do and whatnot. Let me get to the beginning of that, y'all. And this is just to show y'all what type of dude Ray J is. He's beefing with this guy here, which is a producer for Zeus Network. This is Ray J, who has to cause a scene. Again, this is Napoleon syndrome. I got to prove that I'm hard. I got to prove that I'm not Brandy's brother. I got to prove that even though I'm a short dude, I got big ego. Now, you see all of these people got to pull him back, hold him back, him being the cornball that he is, because again, Ray J always have to prove that he is bigger than his height. So as you can see, he's going to the back of the car after they done defused the situation. He's grabbing a bag as if he has a weapon. And you know, these days, people don't take stuff like that for granted. He grabs his bag like he was really about that life, and he wasn't. So of course, security had to step in and make the man-child go behave. And all of this is going to make sense when I give y'all the information I'm getting ready to give y'all. So that's just to show you ladies, right? This is the type of man she made her baby daddy of 2 and her husband. Okay? It just goes to show you can't raise a man. Alright? So, get to the issue at hand, right? TMZ just leaked audio of Ray J, who apparently, it sounds like he's trying to coerce his children into saying whatever he needs them to say in order to save himself. But I'm going to go ahead and play the footage, right? And I'm going to interject because, you know, I got to keep the copyright down to a minimum. But I want y'all to check this out because Princess, I guess, has gotten to that point of, you know what, I'm not covering this ninja anymore. And I think ever since Cassie has exposed Diddy for the monster that we always truly believed him to be, a lot of women now are having the courage to come forward. And sometimes it takes one brave soul to give everybody else the encouragement to not be embarrassed, don't be ashamed. Put these ninjas on blast. Blast their ass if they were putting their hands on you. And I'm going to say alleged. Anything I say in this content is alleged. Based off of my own opinion. Nothing I say is actual or factual. All suspects are innocent until proven guilty. There's no solid evidence as of now that Ray J has physically done something. But I'm sure all of you will agree, after I play this footage, that he definitely did something. He's trying to save himself because he knows that seeing what his homeboy Diddy, who he doesn't want to claim anymore, but he's seeing how the hammer comes down on Diddy, and Ray J don't want that smoke because he barely has a career by hanging on by the string of a thread. Okay, so the last thing he needs is any jail time, any type of image that he can potentially have an abusive nature. But let's play the footage and we're going to discuss it as we go in. I will leave the link underneath, so if y'all want to play the whole thing y'all own due time, y'all can do that. But let's go ahead and let me read the ad first. This is coming from TMZ. Shout out to them. Ray J blowout fight with Princess Love in front of kids. Never did nothing to mama. Ray J and Princess Love had a blowout fight in front of their kids late Thursday, and Ray is on video coaching the children as to what they saw and didn't see. The video, recorded by Ray, sounds like a lawyer leading the witness. You hear Ray telling the kids they didn't see Daddy put hands on mommy and vice versa. He waits for them to respond before making his point. Ray J says, "We're just making a movie. We're just playing." Ray went live on social media with video with social media account live bits capturing a 2-minute clip. It's clear the kids are upset, and when Ray J tells them he's leaving the house, you hear one of them burst into tears. This is their children. They have beautiful kids. At one point, he says to the kids ages 4 and 6, "There's no reason to call the police. We're just playing, okay?" It's unclear if one of the kids called 911 or attempted to call. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ Princess Love did call the cops, and they came to the house but left shortly thereafter. So this is what Princess puts on her Instagram, y'all, before I play the footage. This is the only time I'm going to address this. I've been trying my best to be the bigger person and just walk away peacefully, but what y'all not going to do is traumatize, manipulate, and gaslight my kids when you can't do it to me anymore. I'll save my videos for the judge. Princess Love has already reacted to the viral video, saying she's not going to let anyone traumatize, manipulate, and gaslight her kids, clearly implying Ray J in fact did get into some kind of altercation with her before the clips were shot. She adds she has her own videos which she's saving for court. Alright, now they are in the middle of a contentious divorce for the third or fourth time. So anyway, we're going to play the footage and let's get into it. Because sound like to me that's exactly what he was doing.
We did it.
Let's get through the commercials, y'all. Let's get through the commercials.
I just want to make sure are you good? Dada never did nothing to anybody, right? Mama never did nothing to me. Dada never did nothing to mama, right?
Now, of course I got to interject for copyright purposes. The fact that he has to keep the questions he's asking is coercive. He's not asking directly, did you see daddy hit mommy? Did you see mommy hit daddy? He's not saying that. What he's saying is, you didn't see daddy put hands on mommy, right? You didn't see mommy put hands on daddy, right? This is already, he's low-key dry snitching on himself, because the fact that you have to reiterate and keep rephrasing the question as if you want them to say they did not say, they did not see what they saw, and they did not hear what they heard. So you can tell he's trying to coerce. And let me tell you, kids are smart. Kids can tell how to answer a question based on the way it's being asked to them. It's one thing if I say something to a 3-year-old, did you see me steal money out your grandma's purse? Versus me saying, you didn't see me take anything out of grandma's purse, right? You didn't see me anywhere near that pocketbook, right? You didn't see me go anywhere near it, right? For him to keep wording it like that, it's only natural that a child is going to say yes, versus, I guarantee you, if those children, and I'm sure they're smart, was asked directly, did I hit mommy? Yes, you did. Did mommy hit me? Yes, mommy slapped you. Mommy hit you in the head. He is coercing, and that is why he's recording this. He's trying to save his backside. The way he's wording the question is very obvious that he's gaslighting, just like Princess said. He's gaslighting and trying to manipulate his children.
Everything is safe? Have Dada put hands on mama, or mama put hands on Dada? No, right? Okay.
Okay. Why the child wasn't able to answer that? Did daddy put hands on mama? Did mama put hands on papa? The child didn't get a chance to respond. He said no. Right? In other words, he's doing a lot of coercing. He's directing the conversation. So the child only responded the way they felt to respond. Because the child is confused. The child is confused because the child saw with his or her own eyes something totally different from what daddy is trying to convince them to say. So that's why the child is saying, I deal with these type of situations. I deal with teaching family violence, domestic violence, anger management, intervention classes, in which I specifically deal with cases in which there was some type of domestic dispute, whether it was husband and wife, baby daddy and baby mama, boyfriend and girlfriend. I specifically deal with family violence, domestic cases in which people who are court ordered, they have to come through me for 24 weeks, and as long as they are attending regularly and showing up, I can ace them or pass them out to the judge, so that way they can be cleared of whatever ordinances or orders that the judge wants them to meet. But anyway, right, So I can tell that he is persuading these children. They are scared to death. They are shaken up. Kids are like sponges. They absorb everything. They absorb that something indefinitely went wrong. Something went wrong. And I'm just going to say allegedly they could have saw Ray J push on their mama, smack their mama, could have saw the mama push Ray J, slap Ray J. They seen something wrong that terrified them. That is why they are crying. It's not like these kids had just got a spanking. It's not like the kids was told you got to go to bed early. Something happened to make them upset. And you can tell by the tone in that child's voice, even though she cannot formulate those words of I don't like what you did to mommy, or I don't like what mommy did to you. You can tell that child is scared and she's confused. And the only thing she knows how to do is to just trust her guardian, which is her father. Her father is the one that's talking to her right now. Her father is the one that's coercing her. So she's only responding to what daddy is telling her to respond to, because that is the man who she trusts as her father.
So there's no reason to call the police, right?
It's a movie.
We're just making a movie. We're just playing, okay?
Okay, if it's just a movie, if nothing really major went down, why would you have to go so far and say it's just a movie? What's wrong with telling the children if there was nothing that inappropriately or physically went down? What was wrong with saying to the children, mommy and daddy had an argument? If all it was just words, if there was no weapons, if there was no hands, what would have been wrong with reiterating that? You know why he's saying it's just a movie? Because something happened in that house. Those children saw something that they was not supposed to see. The fact that he got to lie and gaslight and say that it was just a movie, this is already a recipe for disaster. Because again, you shouldn't have to stretch the truth and make it seem as if the altercation was a movie. Now, which one is it, Ray J? You claim it was just an argument, but then you go from telling the children y'all were just role playing, pretending y'all was in a movie. Which one is it? Was you arguing, or was you physically putting your hands on this woman, which is why you got to tell your children y'all were just pretending we were in a movie?
Mama, can we go to your house?
We can go to my house, but I just want to make sure everything is safe here with Mary and everybody.
Mama, can we go to my house first? But can we go to your house right now?
Go get your sweater. Go get a sweater and we'll go. Nothing crazy is happening. I got it all on tape. Alright.
Nothing crazy has happened. I got it all on tape. You have to keep reiterating. Now, this could be one of two things. It could be because sometimes women do tend to get hostile. I mean, I seen on the clip where she threw the drink on Ray J first. She did strike first. I know Princess is quick with the pause, and this is not to justify and say that Ray J is not capable of being abusive, but what I am saying is we really still don't know what has happened, so I got to remain objective. Even though my intuition is leaning more towards Princess, but because I'm a woman, it's just natural for me to automatically navigate towards Princess. But I have to be objective in this. Either she struck first and he responded by hitting her back. That could have been the case, which is why he's recording this and letting it be known, hey, you know, I'm just saving myself. It ain't been nothing like that. We good. Or it could be exactly the first initial response that we all at this point believe. Something inappropriate went down. Ray J did something, and he's recording to protect himself because he knows this is going to get out. He's a celebrity. Princess is a celebrity. He does not want that kind of smoke. He sees what happened to Diddy and Cassie. That's not the kind of stain any man wants as a celebrity and as a public figure on his resume. So it could be one or the other. Either Princess did something and he's trying to protect himself and not look like the villain, or either he did do something and he's trying to protect himself from not looking like the villain. It's one or the other.
So let's get you some. Let's put on your shoe.
I don't leaving.
I gotta leave, baby. I don't want anything to. Everything's okay. I just want to make sure everything is safe. I love your mom. Your mom loves me. No, I love your mom. Your mom loves me.
Now, the fact that he's using profanity, your mom loves me, as whatever word that was, but you can tell it was inappropriate language, which I don't know why he's talking that way around his children, why he's expressing himself in that manner. These children are already traumatized. They seen something. They know something. These children ain't crying just to be crying. Something happened, and one of them knows that Ray J is trying to leave. So any child, you got to look at this from the eyes of a child. Your father is getting ready to leave the household. That upsets you. You know something is wrong. Daddy is getting himself dressed. Daddy's getting ready to leave. So these children are definitely they're traumatized by this incident, because I'm sure they love both parents, and the fact that they're witnessing this altercation take place between both of their parents is scaring the hell out of them.
I just want to keep it documented that nothing is happening and that we both respect each other and we love each other. This was just a pretend thing, okay? We just had an argument, okay? I don't want it to get out of hand, and I wanted to make sure it's recorded and seen, so we're all super safe. Just because somebody has a disagreement doesn't mean anything, you know? Calling the police over a disagreement is loud, and I'm not with that. Okay? I love you. Your mom loves you. Did you check on your mom? Go check on her one more time. Tell her you're going with that. So we'll do it one more time and tell her you're going with that. You have to one more time so she knows you're going with me, okay? That's the right thing to do. Huh? We're just going. Everything's fine. It was just pretend, okay, baby?
If y'all notice, he keeps reiterating that. And I understand as a parent, you have to protect kids. You know, it's been times, I'm not going to act like me and my husband didn't have altercations in front of my daughter. But at the same time, what people have to understand is it's okay for children to see conflict, okay? It's okay for them to see mommy and daddy argue. That's normal. But what is not normal is when they are seeing mom and dad duking it out like they two drunks in the street. That is unhealthy and it's toxic. So just the fact that he has to keep reiterating that, I believe these children have seen this multiple times, and I believe it's gotten to a place in which Princess says, you know what, I got to check out of this. It has gone too far, and just based off of seeing Ray J's behavior, how he handles conflict, I would not be surprised if he went against the grain. Now I wanted to pretty much get to the next point, right? There is a reason Ray J is the chaotic man that he is. But before we really dive in a little bit more, I just want to share with you a couple of episodes in which Princess should have known that she really was signing up for a lifetime of a headache being married to Ray J. In case y'all didn't peep this when there was an award show on BET. Now, this is a prime example. This was in 2023 to show you the true definition of a man-child with that Napoleon syndrome. This is very cringing and embarrassing. And I just want you as women to pay attention to the facial expressions on Princess's face, because a face says 1,000 words that sometimes a mouth will not speak. But let me just show y'all this and just pay close attention, because I'm not gonna play it too many times, you know, because I don't know copyright issues. But check this out.
We get into the winners, the best new artists. Love wins. I love you, baby. I'm listening. I'm trying to compromise. I'm never gonna let you go. And to all y'all fly guys out there,
what?
That's been in my white VM when we wasn't together. I see you, and I just want to let you know, she mine. She mine.
We get it.
Right?
Now, as you can see, the embarrassment that was on her face when he
before we get into the winners,
made
the
the
best
statement he made, you can just tell that
love wins. I love you, baby.
Ray J has no sense of integrity. He has no sense of when he's doing too much. Again, this is the man child that's always seeking attention. He has not gotten past that shadow of being Brandy's brother. So any opportunity that the limelight is on him, he has to absolutely do the most. Okay? So I just wanted to kind of share that with y'all so y'all can really have a more thorough understanding on Ray J's personality, his sense of lack of accountability, and it's all going to come together as I continue to go further into this. So let's get into the main issue where I want to share with y'all about Ray J's father. So Ray J, father, Mr. Willie Norwood Sr., he's a man of many secrets that a lot of you may not be aware of. He's not just this ideal picture perfect father who simply played a role in his children being successful. A lot of you may not be aware, and this may be your first time hearing about it, or maybe you have heard about it, but it was one of those things that came and went. But Willie Norwood has children from a previous relationships before he got with Sonja, which is Brandy's and Ray J's mother. Okay, Willie Norwood, Papa was a Rolling Stone, basically. And like I said, in many instances, these men will come into marriages with skeletons in their closet, and they will not tell you. They will blindside you. And Mr. Willie Norwood, and I'm going to say alleged, everything I say in this video is alleged and based off of my own opinion. Anything I say is based off of my perspective for educational and entertainment purposes only. Nobody don't need to be texting me this time of night. But anyhow, Ray J's father does not have a clean slate. And as the saying goes, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. So in case you did not know, Ray J's father, Willie Norwood Sr., does have other children out here. But the main one that I wanted to specifically address was, let's see if I have it, Ray J's brother Danielle. Now if you see visually this picture, you can tell that Ray J and Danielle are split an image. Okay, those genes are very strong. This is Willie Norwood Sr., oldest son, whom he had before he got with Brandy and Ray J's mother, Sonia. Okay? So, just to give y'all a little more background on the story, again, I'm going to show you Ray J's father so y'all can see the resemblance. Okay? So, this is Mr. Willie Norwood, all smiles. Okay? All smiles. And this is the biological, his oldest son that he never claims, never acknowledges, and wants absolutely nothing to do with. Okay, so as you can see in this photo, at one point in time, Ray J was trying to bond with his brother. but let them tell it. They try to change the narrative like this was just a fan that wanted a random picture. This is Ray J, and this is Ray J's oldest brother. Okay, again, Willie Norwood not only has a son, but from my understanding, I think he has 2 other daughters. But Ray J and Brandy is not his first and not his only children. In fact, he has other grandchildren as well, other than Brandy and Ray J's children, because all of the children he had before them, they have kids themselves. So, in case you've been hiding up under a rock, I'm just going to play a little snippet of this content creator called 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 Talks Sense, in which she kind of gives a little quick breakdown of the situation with Willie Norwood and the mothers of his children, or in particular the mother of Danielle, which is the oldest son that belongs to Willie Norwood. She pretty much exploits him and puts him on blast by basically saying, you know, ever since you got with Brandy and Ray J's mom, who does not want to taint her picture perfect image, you basically trashed your children prior to that. And it boils down to Sonya basically being the woman to wear the pants. She runs the show. Willie Norwood has no backbone. He basically is at the mercy of Brandy and Ray J's mom. But we'll get into that a little bit more as we go more into this. But let's just go ahead and get this show on the road.
Had kids besides Brandy and Ray J. Now, one of the sons made media and have been known in the media as being Brandy and Ray J half brother. He was a rapper that went by the name of C-Dub. His real name is Danielle. Ray J accepts the brother, Brandy does not.
And there's some guy named C-Dub that's like your half brother. Do you know this guy? Who? C-Dub. He's like going to be a rapper now. One brother.
And keep in mind, they've been programmed to only acknowledge each other because, again, Sonya has made it very, very clear that she will never, ever accept any children that Willie Norwood has other than the 2 that they share together. Now, keep in mind, had this happened while he was married to Sonya, okay, I could understand if these was children that was conceived within the marriage. But these children were already basically created before you married him, before you had Ray J and Brandy, and he was not man enough to tell you that he already had children prior. So what you are doing is you chose to punish his children for Willie Norwood lying to you. And Willie Norwood knows that if he does not go with Sonya's program, that she can make his life a living hell. He does not want that smoke. Not only that, he's enjoying the luxury and the privileges that come along with acknowledging Brandy and Ray J, which is something he really will not get with his other biological children, because his other biological children, they don't have the fame and success that Brandy and Ray J has. But they're going to get more into it as the content goes on.
Ray J. Well, this guy is your half brother. I don't even know who this guy is. I heard about that too.
Half brother came out for a quick second.
Well, Brandy, we know you were lie, because like you sat up there and pretended you was married when you was pregnant with your daughter Sarai, because your mother has programmed you and raised you to protect the bag at any means necessary. Like you lied and had a little delivery special, like you was married to your daughter's father and he ended up busting y'all out. and you had to come clean, and you went on Oprah's show basically saying, yes, I just did not want people to see me different. So yes, I did lie. It was not a real marriage. It was a spiritual marriage. Girl, bye. Y'all have been taught and raised to cover lies and to bury things up under the rug. But proceed.
With the song over sexy midnight. My friends told me about it. I never got a chance to see it. I logged on to find it. I couldn't find it.
Did you call him and ask him?
Now he have his number.
And he's a half brother?
Yeah.
You really cursed with this,
But it was good. We never really hung out like that, so we can't really say that, it's official between us like that. But as far as the blood, I guess, it's in the family.
No love for my ex, coward, he wasn't there. So mom went to the county and applied for some welfare. I guess he was just a player, but that still ain't fair, cause he knew that
just to protect the copyrights, I'm going to
this beds I used a whole box of tissues, shedded so many tears.
And alleged that Brandy's mother, once she found out about her son, which was when her son was 14 and it was 12 years into, at least 12 years into the marriage with Brandy.
Fair use. So Willie Norwood, being the no good, narcissistic man that he is, he was well within 12 years of his marriage to Brandy and Ray J's mother, Sonia, when she discovered he had other children.
Brandy dad. But Lynette alleged that Brandy's mother told her that my husband would never accept that bastard.
This is your child and stuff. And Sonia said, well, that bastard, he would never accept that bastard child of yours.
Recently, she have came out and said that someone from the Mocha show called and told her that the episode on, in Mocha show, Ray J plays Brandy's cousin, but then it comes.
Now, I want to pump the brakes there. Remember when I told y'all earlier about the show Mocha, where Frank, which was Mocha's play dad on the show, which was Brandy's play dad on her show Mocha. Frank had the reputation supposedly of being the no-nonsense dad, strict, stern, have all of these morals and principles, and that really tainted the show when they decided to give them the script of Ray J being Dorian, the rebellious son, and they decided to make that particular episode expose Frank as being the father of Dorian, not the uncle, which was the initial reason for him starring on the show, was as Brandy's cousin and Frank's nephew. And the strangest turn of events, I guess it was boiling down to they wanted to give Ray J some type of shine by any means necessary. So they came up with this ridiculous ass storyline which totally threw off the dynamics of the show. And it just didn't add up. It didn't make no sense. I don't think Ray J was really a fit for the show. And again, I think this had a lot to do with the fact because Sonya had a lot of power and she ran things, and being that the show Mocha was doing really well, she probably gave the producers a funky ultimatum, being that she's very dominant and overbearing. Hey, if y'all want Brandy to continue doing this show, y'all gonna have to try to find some type of part for my son. I want him to be a part of this business venture as well. I'm saying alleged. I'm not saying that actually happened, but that's what I believe, because the role they gave him, you can just tell it was something that just was thrown together, something that was just kind of like a microwave. It was like a microwave mission. You can tell no real thought was put into it, because the way the show has started off, that one episode killed a lot of ratings. It just threw everything off. And again, it was all about Sonya still ensuring that she secures the bags with her children. So just having one successful child is not enough. She wants to be able to capitalize off of both of her children being successful. Even with Ray J having a sex tape, which they tried to act crazy and act like they didn't know about it, but we found out later that Sonya, who claims to be so uprighteous and have all these morals and standards, we found out that she was down with the sex tape being exploited because she wanted to make some money off of that tape with Ray J and Kim Kardashian. But we'll proceed so we don't lose the message.
Comes out that that's not her cousin, that's her half brother, that her daddy Frank been lying. Now that storyline was alleged came into the show because of Brandy Mama.
And they made money off of that part on Moesha. And we didn't say that. Now there's a producer down there or someone who worked on Moesha who said that Sonya took a page out of Lynette's life with C-Dub and took that and put it on Moesha, and they had that on that sitcom. We didn't say
his name right. Somebody put it out on the video lately. If you can look, you'll see it. His name was Dorian.
Son? What's she talking about, Frank? You know, Dee, I made a mistake. I've got so many nephews, I just can't keep them all straight.
It's all right, Aunt Hattie. It's okay. This has gone on long enough anyway.
Fair use, fair use.
Dorian, this isn't how I wanted you to find out.
Now, when they flipped the script and through this tacky storyline, it just it derailed the show. Again, it by any means necessary, Sonya wanted to make sure Ray J was able to capitalize off of any part of Brandy's success. So they just tossed him in this show, gave him an instant role, and like I said, after this episode, the show it just didn't make it. The show crashed and burned after this.
Find out what? What are y'all talking about?
I'm not your uncle, Dorian. I'm your father.
What? Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I be the power boss. I'm the power that they're young and boss. I'm Patrick.
Okay, so let's go forward.
I'm not saying that's what's it, but that's what's been alleged right now. Y'all tell me what y'all think.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause it right here. So I wanted to go into how all of this came about with C-Dub, which is Danielle. He goes by the name of Danielle. And again, he's supposed to be the oldest biological son of Ray J and Brandy's father, Willie Norwood. And when I say Sonya has complete control over that family, she has 100% control. And she will let you know that. Let me see if I can. There it goes here.
Man should also take care of his responsibility.
Must be myself, and I must not change what my values are, and anyone that interferes with something that I don't believe to be right for myself, and as when my children were growing up, it had to be a no, regardless of what the cost could have been.
What would you tell your younger self?
Man should also take care of his responsibility.
Must be.
Okay, so basically,
man should also take care of his responsibility.
Must be.
Sonya is pretty much letting you know within the message that she's going to protect her family at all costs. She's going to protect the business. She's going to protect their investment, because at the end of the day, it's about having this picture perfect image of your family being these successful individuals that don't have any skeletons in their closet. But let's get to the subject at hand. So I'm going to try to get through this as much as I can. So Carrington, this has been going on for a long time. What prompted you to finally speak out? So Carrington is the person that's interviewing Danielle's mother, Lynetta, who is one of Willie Norwood's baby mamas. I think it's either 2 or 3 other women. I'm not sure, but within the story, as I get into it, she's going to pretty much let it be known what other children other than her son Danielle that Willie Norwood is also not acknowledging and has abandoned to be in the good graces of Sonya. So she said, this isn't, the first time I've tried to speak out. I tried to talk to many about this many years ago, but I was never allowed an opportunity. I was never able to get to the right source. So you have to keep in mind, social media, bloggers, none of that was out. And Brandy's parents had a lot of power and clout. Nobody was just going to interview her and hear her side of the story up until now. So Carrington says, I guess the most pointed question that I can ask at this point, who is the father of your son? 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼, I named Willie Norwood as my son's father when he was nobody, and I name him as my son's father today. Willie Ray Norwood, the father of Brandy and Ray J. Norwood, is the same father of my son, Danielle Demetrius Brown. Is there any chance that someone else could be the father? No way. Tell me how this began. You and Willie were in a relationship when you became pregnant? We were. You remember the date and even the hotel number that you got pregnant in, right? She says, exactly. Carrington, was he with Sonya, the mother of Brandy and Ray J, current wife, when you became pregnant? 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 says, if he was, I wasn't aware of it, but as far as I knew, he wasn't. Carrington, but they were definitely not married at the time. And she says, no, they were not married. He married Sonya was when I was in about my 3rd month of pregnancy. Carrington, so when did your relationship with him end? 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼, I guess it ended when I found out he was married. Last time I saw Willie was the day we left the hotel. I know that might seem like it was a one-night stand, but trust me, it was not. Willie was the one who told me that I was pregnant the next morning as we were leaving the hotel. He said I was going to call him with the good news, but I didn't believe him. When I found out that I was pregnant, I tried to reach out to Willie several times, but I wasn't able to get in contact with him. I spoke with one of his roommates 2 or 3 times and left messages to let him know that I was pregnant, but I didn't get in contact with him until November of that year. When I talked to him, he told me that he had just married Sonya and he was sorry that he had gotten me pregnant, but he was married. The whole situation was stressful for me, and I was embarrassed to tell my family that I was pregnant by a man who had just told me that he got married. My family knew that Willie was the father, but they assumed that we had simply broken up, and I let them think that. I actually had complications during my pregnancy because of the stress of knowing that I was pregnant by a man who had married somebody else and not being able to talk to my family about it. I have not seen Willie since then except for on television, but I had spoken to him once or 3 times. Has he ever at any point acknowledged your son? 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼, yes, he has. Was that just between the 2 of you, publicly with his family? Who did he acknowledge the child to? He's acknowledged him to his family. He's acknowledged it to my son. I believe that when my son did the interview with the tabloids, he told them that he was his child, but he would not speak about it. So, he does acknowledge him? Exactly, but not to the world. So, have you ever tried to get child support, and if not, why didn't you? She replies, I did, but I was not able to locate Willie because I was young and I didn't know about getting a social security number from a guy when you're dating. When I got on general assistance in the state of Illinois after I had my child, they asked for his whereabouts, and I told them where I was told he might be, but they wasn't able to locate him. So I never heard anything else from the child support office to establish paternity. So there has never been any form of financial support? Never. How old was your son when you and Willie totally stopped communicating? Was it after he told you that he was married? 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼, exactly after that. She replies, when was the last time you spoke to him? It has been a while. I spoke to him in '98 about trying to see if he could take care of our son. To see if maybe he could try to get him a record deal. Now, I already knew that wasn't going to happen, but let me proceed. Whenever your son tells his story, he gets a lot of flack from people, particularly from Brandy and Ray J fans. As a mother, how does that make you feel when people say that your son is a liar or that he is out for money. See, and let me see, I lost my little place. Oh, he is my only child. I know that he went out to let the world know what was going on, and I heard about the good and the bad responses. I never read it because I know what the public thinks. I know that I'm not lying, and I care about my son's feelings. He's a man now, and at times I'm sure it ticks him off a little, but he gets up and he keeps moving. Being a mom, it hurts because we've been through so much trying to get Willie to step up to the plate and do what he needs to do as a father. I've seen my son break down, and it hurts. I don't want my child, even though I don't want my child, even though he's a man, to go out and get his face smashed again, because I'm the one who has to pick up the pieces with the pain. Any mother would feel bad when the world is saying something negative about their child and they don't really know what's going on. The interviewers say, as a child, I'm sure that it probably hurt your son to watch his dad on television being a doting father and loving on his other kids, knowing that he doesn't acknowledge him. But how does he feel about it as an adult? Do you discuss this with him at all? 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 replies, it did hurt him as a child, but I guess that's something you never grow up to accept until you get to spend that time with the person that you really love. I've asked him what he's looking for from Willie, and I understand that my son needs to get to know his daddy. It's all about love of my son. He wants to be accepted, not only by Willie, but he wants to be accepted by Brandy and Ray J. It's not about their money. One thing I would like to say to the world is, when you have one child, you never know when that child needs something. Not financially, but my child might be sick one day and need blood, and he'll lose his life if his father and brother and sister won't be there to help him. I just keep them in prayer. Interviewer goes, I want to go back when you said that you tried to get Willie to listen to the CD to try to help your son get a record deal. What was the result? Y'all let me decide. I got to mute. This is crazy. Who the devil would text me this type of night? People are like, you don't have other stuff on your plate. But anyway, yes, I did. I told him that he would take the CD to Atlantic Records. All of the back child support and everything that he owed me would be paid in full. All I asked him to do was to take the CD and try to get that deal. Willie told me at the time it wasn't about my son, and the world centered around Ray J and Brandy. He said that he didn't know how bad it was in the industry and that he wouldn't want any more of his children in the industry. He said that everybody wants their child to be an entertainer, but that we don't understand the repercussions. I felt like if that was good for Brandy and Ray J to be the center of attention, though, he didn't really want to take the CD, nor did he really take the CD to Atlantic Records. He told me that he would have to speak with Sonya, and if Sonya didn't want to deliver the CD, she wouldn't. We never heard from him, so that gave me the impression that they threw it in the garbage or they didn't take it. So basically, y'all, I know it's a lot of reading, but it's safer to do it this way than to play all these videos and stuff. She was trying to at least get him, okay, well, since, you know, you're not going to look out and pay the child support, you're not going to acknowledge him, I mean, just give him an opportunity to put his music out there. Just give him an opportunity, you know, to be able to share his talent. He shut that camp down and was like, no, and called it gaslighting, being the narcissistic ninja he is. No, you know, I already realized how hard it is for Ray J and Brandy. I wouldn't want to take him through that. Basically, you know, gaslighting and avoiding wanting to at least give Danielle the opportunity that he didn't have no problem doing with Ray J and Brandy. And again, all this boils down to Sonya calling the shots, and she didn't want in no shape or form Danielle getting into the industry, because eventually all of that stuff would have came out. Hey, I'm the rapper of Brandy's brother. Hey, I'm the rapper of Ray J's brother. And Sonya wasn't going for that. She only wanted her son and her daughter Brandy to shine. That's it. And Sonya had even already programmed Brandy them into saying that he does not exist. That's why during that interview, Brandy played crazy. Like, I don't know him. I heard, but I don't know. Of course, because they all are cut from the same cloth. And because Sonya's the mother, she has an advantage in having that influence on making sure that Ray J and Brandy does not accept him or does not acknowledge him. Going along, Carrington, when he gave you the whole spiel about the industry, did you believe that that was truly his justification, or do you believe that there was something else behind his reasoning for not wanting to take the CD? I knew that he was lying. I knew that much. So what became of that? Did you contact him again and find out what happened with the CD? No. Every time we would call back, no one would answer the phone, and shortly after that, the phone was disconnected. Okay, let's go back for a second. When Willie said that the world centered around Brandy and Ray J, whose world was he talking about? His world or the industry? I can't really answer that, but I was told once by Sonya that there was no room for my son in the entertainment business until she was ready. Until she was ready. In July of, I don't know why they got this crazy mode. In 97, Ray J had a show in Huntsville, Alabama. Huntsville. And that was the first time my son met his father. They went to the hotel and talked, and he came back and he called Willie and Ray J for the first 2-3 weeks, and they got along good. After that, Danielle would call from the phone booth because he didn't have a phone. So he would get coins to call Willie and Ray J. And not one time did Willie tell that child to call him collect. So one day I took him to the phone booth and Sonya answered, and they had a few words. You could tell that he was trying to talk nice to her, but you could also tell from his answers back to her that she was getting kind of ugly. And he said, Sonya, I'm not a bad person. You'll be surprised if I showed up at your door one day with a dozen roses, and you'll know that I'm a good person. I don't know how the conversation ended, but when he finally talked to Willie, he told him that Sonya said that he had threatened her, and she didn't want to talk to him. So basically, Danielle called herself trying to be the bigger person, and basically plead with Sonya, like, I'm not this type of person that's going to come into y'all lives and uproot it, bring any drama. You know, I just want you to get to know me. If you get to know me, you'll see that I'm not who you think I am. Sonya shut that all the way down. She was not trying to hear it. Again, she was basically looking out for the well-being of Ray J and Brandy's success. She does not want none of Willie Norwood's old dirt becoming the scandal that ruins the bag and the success of the family. So by no means was she going to crack the door to give Danielle an opportunity. Okay? Period, point blank. He's not her son, so she does not have the compassion for him as she do for her own children. So anyway, she tried to basically lie on Danielle and make it seem like Danielle had threatened her. And this was another tactic for gaslighting. Make it seem like you are trying to stir up trouble for me, as Brandy and Ray J's mother, and as, you know, your father's wife. You disrespecting me. You're creating problems. So that was the strategy she used, basically to shoot him away. You know, like a unwanted dog who comes in your yard and he's somebody else's pet, and you shoot him away, like shoot, get from by me. You don't belong here. That was her way of basically trying to get rid of him. Okay. So continuing with the interview, 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 says, I called to talk to Willie and Sonya, and I asked him not to come in and out of Danielle's life because I'm left with the pain. My son came back when Willie wouldn't talk to him, and he was in tears. He was so angry that he knocked a hole in the wall. It hurts when a mother sees her child cry, especially when he wants to be a part of his father's life and the father doesn't want to accept him. What went through your mind recently when you heard that Brandy made the comment that she only had one brother? I don't feel bad because I know that she's a young lady. She's a girl, and girls usually lean towards mama. So whatever mama says, daughters do. She's only hearing her mother and father's side of the story. But I do not want to thank Ray J. But I do want to thank Ray J for acknowledging my son. What do you think is behind Willie's decision to ignore your son as if it will go away? That's the problem. I think he wants it to go away. I think that he felt like once Danielle reached a certain age, it would just go away. He avoided child support. So I guess he figures it's over with. Have you ever tried to reach out to Sonya, woman to woman? Because usually the wife is the voice of reason is in a situation like this. Have you ever tried to speak to her since Willie never stepped up? I did, and her answer to me was, I'm not ready to accept Danielle. And if Willie wants to accept Danielle, he can do that. While Willie said that he didn't want to lose his wife. So this was gaslighting. She tried to make it seem as if, she was giving Willie the choice to choose if he wanted to have a relationship with his son. When in actuality, behind closed doors, she was telling Willie, if you have any dealings with him and you try to bring him around, bring him within the family, it's curtains for the both of us. That's most likely how it went down, okay? So, interviewer says, wait a minute, when he told you that he had gotten married, did Sonya know about you being pregnant then, or did she find out later? I guess I'm trying to figure out why she seems to be so resentful of him. According to Willie's mother, she found out when he was a baby. Why do you think she has an issue with this whole situation? 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 replies, maybe he was seeing her the whole time when we were together and lying to everybody. Looking back, he got married to her when I was 3 months pregnant, and not many men meet a woman and proposes within 3 months. Honestly, I think that Willie told Sonya whatever he needed to say to save himself. She probably thinks I was messing with her boyfriend or fiance, but as far as I know, he was my boyfriend. Interviewer says, if you could send a message to Willie, what would it be? I would say, Willie, I raised him. All the big bills are out of the way. I took care of that. The only thing I'm asking you to do is to step up to the plate and be a father. One thing I want to add is that Danielle is a good person. And when he went through with Willie not accepting him was bad, but on the other hand, it was wonderful. My son got a girl pregnant and he stepped up and married her, and he takes care of his kids. Because Willie put him through what he did, it made a man out of him. Willie has 5 grandkids and they are beautiful. Danielle takes care of his kids. He didn't run from his responsibility, and for that I want to say thank you, Willie. Yeah, so basically, y'all, this just goes to show Willie's living foul, and he does have a daughter as well. A matter of fact, the daughter's name is Monica. So he does have I don't know if he has one other daughter or 2, but Brandy and Ray J is not his first and only. Okay, I know that's the narrative that they've been pushing to y'all. Now, just to show y'all something else, if you go to his Wikipedia, see, when you have bread and you have money, you're given an advantage to bury your secrets until God, decides to pull a wolf from over those who you're trying to press eyes, and then he exposes you. Here, it just talks about him being a gospel singer, and he is the father of and voice coach of R&B singers Brandy and Ray J. So you can see in the Wikipedia, he makes sure that there's no other children that's getting any acknowledgement. Norwood became a grandfather to Brandy's only child on June 16th when Brandy gave birth to daughter Soraya Smith. Norwood's son had 2 children with wife Princess Love, a daughter Melody Love, and a son Epic Ray. So when you have this kind of bread, and this is the reason why unfortunately Danielle will never really be able to make him answer to his responsibilities, and he's been able to scapegoat not having to acknowledge him. Many kids of celebrities have gone through this. Same thing with Jay-Z's daughter. Jay-Z's daughter, everybody wanted to know, well, why she didn't try to get a paternity test done. When you're dealing with people that have a lot of money, your money don't stretch like theirs. You can't just get any lawyer. You can't just get anybody to take that type of case. I mean, people with money got a lot of power and a lot of clout. And as y'all can see, Lynette had been trying to run Willie Norwood down for quite some time to acknowledge her son. And when you're dealing with people in high places like that, it's really, really hard to get a hold of them. I saw the whole interview with Storm Monroe. If y'all want to know more about it, go check out Storm Monroe's page. Put in Storm Monroe does interview with C-Dub's mother or whatever. She breaks down every element, and she basically said the whole moral of the story is that Willie knows that if he does not do exactly what science says, she's going to make his life a living hell. Like, you have some men that are very dominant in a marriage. This is a different setting. Sonya is more so the man. She's more so the dominant one. So when Danielle, came out the blue and tried to, build a relationship, she shut that operation down. And she basically gave Willie an ultimatum. Okay, if you do deal with these other kids you had before we had Ray J them, guess what? I'm taking my kids and I'm going on without you. And that's basically what she said. And Lynette says this in the interview. She basically gave him a raw deal. If you acknowledge these other children who is most likely trying to get in this family to get money, to get notoriety, trying to get deals or whatever, I'm going to shut you out of the equation as well. So Willie made the decision to choose Sonya over his children. He knows the power that Sonya has. He does not want to go back to that life that he left his parents in, of eating Spam and sleeping on tire rims with a mattress on it. And I say that because all this time that he had been married to Sonya, capitalizing off of Brandy and Ray J's success. Keep in mind, his mother, I'm not sure about his father, but I know his mother, he basically left in poverty, and staying in an old mobile home trailer. He does not send his own mom any money. So Sonya also has control over how he looks out for his own mother as well. That's also discussed in the Storm Monroe interview. And he even actually has a picture of the home that Willie Norwood's mother lives in. And when I say that house looks like you would never even imagine that Brandy and Ray J's grandmother was living in them type of conditions. But this is basically how Willie Norwood gets down. He is a straight narcissist, and he's selfish. He is going to put his needs first. And as badly as Danielle wants a relationship with his father, I'm glad he finally got to the terms of accepting that Ray J's father, Willie Norwood, is not going to give him that blessing. At the end of the day, Willie wants to stay in the good graces of Sonya, and he does not want to lose the luxury of being Ray J and Brandy's father, because if he does not do what Sonya wants him to do, she is going to cut him off. And I'm sure Brandy and Ray J, most likely, they're going to follow their mom's lead. Sonya seems like a very dominating woman. She seems very dominant. She seems like it's going to be her way or no way at all. And the thing about it is, because she's a smart, savvy businesswoman, that's even more of an advantage. I think she's always handled everything. She's also been the producer of, she was a manager for Boys to Men, and also for the group Silk, So she has many other accolades other than just being the mother of Ray J and Brandy. You know, she's very, very, you know, strongly business minded. She believes in making that bread. She believes in, you know, protecting her image, protecting her bag, and that's why she was so hell bent on Willie's son entering into Willie's life and tarnishing this picture perfect image that that basically Brandy and Ray J's brand is based off of their image. If we look at Diddy's brand is tarnished forever. His name is tarnished forever. After that scandal, his name is no good. Sonya made that decision to protect her business, and I don't say that as, you know, as an honorable thing, but Sonya's all about her coins, and she's not only that, she's about having things her way. Willie Norwood has already proven he does not have a backbone. He has no leadership abilities, because any real man would say, look, you know, I messed up, I fumbled, I dropped the ball, I should have told you about these children. I don't want them to suffer because I lied to you. I want to be a part of their life, but at the same time, you don't need to be punishing them because of what I did wrong. I've been with you all this time, and, you know, I made this mistake before you. Ain't like this happened while we was together. Anything, you know, to at least stand his ground with his children. But no, he's sitting there like Mr. Softy, because he's all about protecting himself. He's already proven he's selfish, and he's proven that he will not take accountability. This is the reason why Ray J is the way that he is. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. A lot of the things we go through in life, two factors play into it. Either you were raised to think that it is normal to behave in the manner in which you behave, or either it was already ingrained in your DNA, or either it was both. And Ray J's situation, it was both. Not only is it ingrained in him not to take accountability, it's in his blood, because a lot of the times the apple don't fall too far from the tree. And if you don't do anything about these unspiritual character traits that's been transcended from generation to generation, generational curses, it's going to continue to keep repeating itself. Ray J is repeating the generational curse of not taking accountability. Okay? And not only that, he was raised to not take accountability, because look, he witnessed his own father not have to acknowledge or take accountability for his oldest brother. So therefore, this was the type of man-child Princess got herself involved in. And that's why I preach, and I have said many a times, you need to get to know a man's family and where he comes from. That way you can understand his values, his morals, and his spiritual sense of reality. Ray J comes from a family in which men don't have to hold themselves accountable. Not only that, Ray J is cursed with his mother's selfishness, and he's learned too that it's all about protecting the image in the bag. And that's why he did that recording, because he knows if it gets out that he has any real solid evidence of him being an abuser, this is going to taint everything that his mom and daddy worked for years for him to have. You know, I say success is like money. It takes years to accumulate, but you can lose it in a matter of seconds. So Ray J knows that his mom, his dad, they expect a lot of him. So him doing that recording was his way of trying to save face. Not for him to take accountability, for him to save face, because he's been programmed as a young man ever since he got in this industry. By his mother, you protect your bag. By his father, you don't have to acknowledge or take accountability. They both ingrained that into them, into Ray J. I also heard Ray J state not too long ago that he does not have a relationship with Brandy. Brandy does not deal with him anymore. She's not talking to him because Ray J has been crashing out. He's embarrassed the family a couple of times. He recently posted on Instagram 2-3 months back about unaliving himself because there's things he's seen in the industry that he was paid to cover up and not say anything. A lot of people kind of felt like he knew something about Whitney Houston, and thinking he probably, knew something of that, because him and Whitney was dating or dealing with each other briefly. But anyway, this is why Ray J is the way he is. He's a narcissistic ninja, just like his father and his mom. Let's not get it twisted. You have some narcissistic Nancys out here, okay? The unfortunate part, what his parents are going to find out, in many instances, the child that you favor and you do so much for, those are the same ones that usually end up disgracing you and embarrassing you in the end. We've seen these situations like this play out multiple times. So you have to be careful when it comes to favoritism and putting certain children on a pedestal, but meanwhile you looking down on the others and you're degrading the others. Because the ones that you put so much hope and energy and praises into, they end up being the very ones that end up disgracing you. I've seen it 1,000 times. All of my favorite son, my favorite daughter, listen, them favorites will fail you for the most part. Never think that your child is so far above to where God won't use your children to humble you. And I strongly believe Ray J is going to be the stamp of the Norwood family, getting that tarnished rep that they fought so hard to preserve. That is why Sonya did not want none of Willie Norwood's children coming out the woodworks. She did not want nothing that was going to make her and her husband look bad. But from the most part, Ray J is doing a fine job. And if Princess decides to go through with this and really show footage of what's been going on in our household, because again, Ray J has proven, like Martell, he's the agent of chaos. He's the king of chaos. And if this woman, Princess, decides to do the Cassie and submit that beautiful being footage to the judges, and we see something, inappropriate going on, or the judge sees a lot of kicking, slapping, punches, or whatever, guess what? He's gonna get the business, because usually all it takes is one. Diddy done messed it up for everybody, right? So any other male entertainers that get caught up in these type of scandals, and not even a scandal, because this is what they created. These are things that they done. Anytime these men get exposed for being abusive, especially now that we have the Me Too movement, especially now that so many women are becoming unalived at domestic violence. Domestic violence is at an all-time high. I know, because I'm in the industry in which I have to deal with all the offenders. Being certified in the state of Georgia, anytime a man gets incarcerated or arrested for violently putting his hands on another woman, he has to take a domestic violence class, which consists of 24 weeks of him dedicating himself to learning how to better manage his anger and how not to use manipulative, coerced control tactics to get what he wants by preying on his victim, whether that victim be his wife, his baby mama, his girlfriend, whatever. But that is what's going on. Ray J is in Peter Pan syndrome. He's the little boy who never grew up, and his actions and his mannerisms are definitely manifesting at an all-time high. I think Princess is tired of covering it up. I think she covered it up as long as she could. He's did a couple of nice gestures. I know a couple of months ago he brought her in Maybach. I believe he's one of those narcissistic men that will do you in, disrespect you, and then put his, put the paws on you and then turn around and buy you a $2,000, Prada bag. He just strikes me as the type of young man that he does not really have his anger control. I think he likes discipline. I think his only way of getting what he wants is by manipulating and buying gifts and like y'all saw with the rewards, putting Princess on a pedestal like he values her so much, and he didn't appreciate all these men DMing her. But at the same time, sir, you don't appreciate her. That is the typical narcissistic ninja behavior. They will praise you in public but treat you like garbage behind closed doors. I think Princess is at her breaking point. I hope she's at her breaking point now that she has verbalized it. Hopefully she goes through with it, being that she done put it out there, because at this point, to put it out there so boldly only to still stay with him and turn around and be with him after this, that's like a cry wolf thing, and that's a dangerous thing for a woman to do if she feels like she's in a very toxic, volatile relationship. So only time will tell, y'all. I'm definitely going to keep up with this story and see what ends up happening. If there's any charges that are to follow, if Princess really decides to go through with it and not sell wolf tickets only because she's mad at him. She caught a text message. Hopefully this is legit and it's not something that she's doing because she had a moment. She caught him doing something inappropriate, but as time goes on, the details will become more clear. But anyway, appreciate y'all for hanging out in the chat. This is my late lounge chat. I would have been had this uploaded. I've been working on this since yesterday. So all that copyright infringement and all of that, it just made the process take even longer. Make sure y'all hit that like button if y'all don't mind. I'd gladly appreciate it. I'm almost at 3,000 subscribers. Look out for your girl. Continue to subscribe if you haven't joined the family. It's all love here. Don't forget, I have my